Okay, so Kenny Golladay is now off the market.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there really was no hope about the Ravens getting Kenny Golladay, if we're being real about it. But
Well, would it make you feel better to know that they reached out?
yeah, we tried. Yeah, let's talk about the Ravens trying to get wide receivers.
Yeah.
Okay,
They
their efforts in getting wide
they
receivers.
tried to get Kenny Golladay. They tried to get JuJu. They
Hmm.
tried to get Hopkins. They tried to get Diggs. They tried to get Corey Davis and John Ross
Adam
and Mike
Thielen.
Williams that year. They tried to get Adam Thielen. Who have they gotten? I
Yeah,
wonder.
yeah, and I just
The
want to
only
know.
receivers they've gotten are receivers who don't have any choice but to go there.
That's a fact. That is a fact. Even in free agency. uh, if Let me ask you guys something. If they made that same effort on defense, particularly edge rusher, would you be okay with that? Would you be okay with, oh well, they tried, right? They just, we have to start Jalen Ferguson because I mean, look, we spent a third round pick on him, and you just gotta give him a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be okay with that? No, of course you wouldn't. You're not okay with it right now, and that's what me and B have been saying. Look, defund the defense, let Jalen Ferguson play, let
Nick
Bowser play the,
Harrison
yeah,
and Matabike. Let those guys go out there and prove that they were worth those draft positions and
Mhm.
put some money into the offense. You're not putting any money into the offense right now.
No, not at all. So, like I said, there's a reason why we say defund the defense. And it's for moments like this because we're in a situation where 2 years in a row, we could have gotten top tier wide receivers for our star quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
for our top five quarterback. And the reason why we can't do it, allegedly, is because we don't have the money. But I'm looking over on the defensive side. I see Brandon Williams making a lot of money. I see Calais Campbell making a lot of money. I see Jimmy Smith coming back on another contract. I see Tavon Young still on the team. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
money. I see we're still paying money on Earl Thomas, who's not even on the team. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
money on that side of the ball, right? None of that helps Lamar Jackson. And we're not going anywhere unless Lamar Jackson takes us there. Nobody on that defensive side of the ball is going to carry us to a Super Bowl.
No. And honestly, like they've been doing their job.
Yes, been
They've
very
made
good.
the playoffs the last 3 years. Baltimore's allowing just over 20 points a game in the playoffs. And this past year they allowed 15 points a game. That's if you don't even take out the pick six. They gave up 30 points in the two games.
Yeah,
Yeah, the offense is scoring 13 points a game in the playoffs. It's an embarrassment.
it
You
is.
have an MVP quarterback and you get to the playoffs every year and defenses are just laughing at you.
Yeah, yeah. We had this argument this last year, this time,
Mm-hmm.
right? Don't worry about defense. Everybody wanted to go out there and get a linebacker, get some run stoppers because look what Derrick Henry did to us in the playoffs. And you and I pointed out, yeah, but we only scored 12 points in that game. Like we need to be able to score more than 12 points. I can't even begin to look at the defense and what we're doing wrong when we can only put up 12 points in a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
And it showed again this year. We put up 3 points
Yeah.
against the Bills, who aren't
I mean,
particularly good on defense.
even the game they won, they only scored 20. It's
Yeah,
not a lot of points. The defense played great in that game and held Tennessee to 13.
yeah,
But you're not going to win many playoff games scoring 20 points.
yeah. You're asking that defense to hold teams to 20 and under in the playoffs, which is what they did, by the way, and we still
Well,
lost.
and also, I just want to point out that the team that they beat, they held to 13, is also a run first team.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. And they have more talent than we do.
Yeah.
All right, let's break down Kenny Galladay's contract. It is 4 years, 76 million, correct?
It can be worth up to 76, but the base value is 4 years, 72 million with 40 guaranteed. So you got the 18 million a year he was looking for.
Yeah. And I see people tweeting that he's overpaid and he's not going to live up to that contract. He's not overpaid. These wide receivers should be making a lot more money than that. This is just a down year, and teams are being, cheap with their money. They're blaming it on the cap. Like they control the cap.
Mm-hmm.
But next year, since the TV deal, not the TV deal is done, that cap is going to explode, and these wide receivers are going to be making a lot more than 18 million.
Well, and
That's
that's
why they're
why,
taking one.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
go
why
ahead.
JuJu turned down Baltimore because they didn't offer him significantly more money. They offered him $1 million more and some incentives that he knew he wouldn't hit in Greg Roman's offense.
Right.
Baltimore's running their little antique offense. He knows he's not going to hit any receiving incentives, so he goes back to where he's comfortable, where he led the league in slot catches and slot yards, and he's going to try and cash in next year.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about JuJu. Okay, so like you mentioned, JuJu went back to Pittsburgh, and it's been reported by the NFL chick. Shout out to Rita. She said that basically, he wanted to play with Lamar, but the scheme that we have in Baltimore just wasn't going to work for him. He's trying to cash in next year, and he needs to go to a place where he can get his numbers up. And that takes me back to what Harbaugh said in his press conference this offseason. If you want to come here and play like a Raven or whatever nonsense he said, or that's great. But if you just care about your numbers, then go somewhere else. Other places you can go, and we'll be happy to play against you. Well, there you go. You got what you asked for.
Right.
You got what you asked for.
And if you, John Harbaugh, are so concerned about people coming in and wanting to help the team win, and get to a Super Bowl and not worry about their stats, and you looked at a receiver in JuJu who would help your team, who would improve your team, who would give you a better chance to win, and you didn't get it done. You're looking at other receivers in free agency and saying, not worth it. Well, what's winning a Super Bowl worth to you?
Right. Yeah. Look. I said it at the end of our live show on Wednesday. Watch out for Ravens Twitter, the Ravens gatekeepers, right? They're going to sit here and tell you that, no, actually, it was good that we didn't get Kenny Golladay. It's actually good that we end up with Golden Tate or T.Y. Hilton or Sammy Watkins because, great value. Those guys, those are bargain players. Mm-hmm. And I said it on the show, when the first thing they say about a player is bargain, that's not the player that you want on this team. That's not going to help you at all. We've gotten to a point where we're too caught up on value and bargain and good character and all these cliches that don't actually help the team. Talent helps teams.
Yeah. Okay. And then they're also way too concerned with getting comp picks. That's why Kevin Zeitler's a Raven, not because they thought he was the best guard for Baltimore. He's there because he got cut, and he won't affect them getting some comp picks next year for Judon and Ngakoue.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Now, Zeitler, I think, is a good player, and he's going to help. But but every now and then we make these moves. What it is we get lucky, right? Mm-hmm. We get lucky. We get some guys that can actually still play, and we make a lot of these moves. It's high volume moves. So let's get a lot of comp picks. So we get a lot of draft picks. So every year we're getting 10 to 12 draft picks, and 2 or 3 of them work out, and we celebrate. We're like, look at all these guys, man. Like, we got this guy in the 4th round, and look how good he's playing. And we got this guy in the 3rd round, and what a steal. That's great. What about the other 9 picks that we missed on? Mm-hmm. Right. Let's just take a look at last year's draft. Patrick Queen, I think he's pretty good. I like Patrick Queen.
Yeah, he's all right.
J.K. Dobbins, working out. Who else?
I mean, I would take issue with. Not that J.K. Dobbins isn't a good player. Honestly, he can play. But you spend a 2nd round pick on a running back to get 700 yards.
But you know what? But look, still, I still like. Right now, I would say J.K. Dobbins. I like him. I think he can play.
Yeah, no, he can play, but you don't spend a 2nd round pick on a running back to get 700 yards.
No, I agree.
If they keep on splitting carries, it's a waste of a pick.
No. Listen, we can make an argument they were all wasted picks, but just I'm just talking about when you look at this player and say, yes, we got a good player there. I think we got a good player there. Who else can you definitely say that about? Not who you think can break out. Who can you say, no, this guy can play outside of those 2?
Yeah, none of them at this point.
None of them. I know people will say, hey, Duvernay, give him a chance. Okay, give him a chance, but you can't say for sure that he can play. Right. Prochet, we're not even talking about Prochet. He has one catch. Like I'm not arguing about Prochet at all. That's not a discussion. Okay. Matabike, he's played some snaps. If you looked at his tape, you happen to look at his tape and you think, yeah, he could play. All right, maybe, but he hasn't played enough to say he's that guy.
And Baltimore doesn't agree with you. That's why Derek Wolfe is back.
Exactly. So how many picks do we have? 10 picks?
I believe so, yeah.
So 2 of them have worked out. That's what the Ravens do. Okay, that's what we've been doing.
Well, no, I will say, hey, they did cut the guy in front of Malik Harrison, so maybe they think he can play.
Yes,
so we'll give him 3. Give him 3.
Okay. Yeah, no, absolutely, and we like Malik Harrison. That's a move I'm actually happy about, and I like LJ Ford. I wasn't happy that they drafted Malik Harrison to begin with because I didn't think he was going to beat out LJ Ford. But since they drafted him, I said, okay, well, what are you going to do with LJ Ford? Because you can't, like, both of them aren't going to work out on the team. Like, LJ Ford's not going to give up his spot, and, Malik Harrison isn't going to take it from him. So, yes, move LJ Ford out, let Malik Harrison play that spot, and he's going to be fine. I do think he's going to be fine there, right? I mean, we haven't seen him play a whole lot, but yes, I do believe he's going to play well there.
We'll see.
3.
We'll see.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's just what it is with the Ravens, man. Like, they always want to get a bargain. They always want to get a good deal. That whole thing of right player, right price, it just doesn't sit well with me, man. When you're just sitting there in free agency and letting talent just go sign somewhere else. Almost every other team in the league has a better wide receiver core than the Ravens. Me and B looked it up. What will we say about 3? Maybe 3 teams have worse.
Yeah, right now, maybe the Colts, maybe Detroit, and I believe there was one other team. I think maybe the Eagles, who look like they might be as bad, but all 3 of those teams lost players in free agency. Lost starting receivers in free agency and just haven't replaced them yet. Baltimore's bringing their whole crew back.
We're bringing everybody back, and we're the 4th worst wide receiver core in the league. Let that sit in. I mean, look, we're the worst passing offense in the league, but just in terms of talent on the team, we're the 4th worst. Okay, so I mean, let that sink in. And we like Hollywood Brown, but that goes to show you what else we have on our team.
And I just want to say, for the people who say that, Kenny Golladay was overpaid or whatever. I don't hear anybody in Kansas City saying Sammy Watkins was overpaid, and he didn't even do anything there except for in the Super Bowl that they won. So what does it matter? What do you care if they give Kenny Golladay 18 and you think he deserved 15? If he improves the team, who cares?
Yeah. Stop pocket watching, man. That's the other thing too. Stop pocket watching. It's up to the Ravens to make the money work. You don't ever question the moves that they make on defense. They overpay for players all the time on defense. We just said it. They're paying for Earl Thomas right now. He's not on the team. Okay, that's a waste of money. All right. Look, I don't keep bringing up Brandon Williams. I actually like Brandon Williams, but we're paying him $14 million.
Yeah.
Cutting him would save us $7 million.
Cutting him would have got you Kenny Golladay.
Yeah. He plays 33% of the snaps. All right. Calais Campbell is making $16 million. That's $30 million for 2 defensive linemen, a position that we're supposed to excel at drafting and developing.
And 2 defensive linemen who are over 30 and past their prime.
Yeah, and I like both of them. Again, I like both of them. I think they're going to play well this year. I don't have an issue with any of the guys on the defense and how they play. So let's get that straight, right? When we say defund the defense, because you're going to hear that a lot from us. When we say defund the defense, what we mean is if you need money to sign players on offense, take it from the defense. We're not saying tear apart the whole defense and make them whack, right? The defense is good. Yeah. They're going to be fine if we have to cut a player here or there. They're not going to completely fall apart, right? That's the coach's job to keep them together. Do you guys think Wink Martindale is a good coach or not? Do you think he can coach? If he can coach, he shouldn't have to have the best of the best at every single position. He should be able to say, okay, hey, you know what? We're thin at edge rushers this year, but we got some young guys here. I'm going to coach them up, in my scheme, which is another thing we're going to get to.
I'm pretty sure that you can only coach up offensive players. Defensive players just have to have it.
They just have to have it. Yeah. They just got to know it. But speaking of scheme on defense, I mean, what does it really matter if we have edge rushers. I'm gonna flip it around on you guys that always talk about we don't need a top tier wide receiver because of our scheme. Well, why do we need good edge rushers in our scheme on defense?
Yeah.
We blitz more than anybody by far.
And Baltimore was, number 2 in the league in points against, and they were the number 6 pass defense in the league. So
Yep.
clearly they don't need edge rushers, right? I mean, it's working. The pass offense is not working because they don't have talent on the outside.
Right.
The defense is working. The pass defense is working fine.
Again, like this is not a shot at defense. Defense did their job last year. Mm-hmm. They're doing their job. They're a good defense. It's not enough. It's not enough. They cannot. This is not Ray Lewis. This is not, Ed Reed, Suggs. This is not that type of defense, right? Lamar Jackson is a guy that's going to carry us to a Super Bowl, put weapons around him so he can lead us there. Nobody else has the ability to do that on this team. So until they get serious about putting some weapons around him and protection, because look, I like Kevin Zeitler, not enough. It's not enough. Until they decide to do that, it's going to look like another one and done in the playoffs.
And listen, I know there's not a single person watching this video right now who thinks Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. Ask yourself why he gets Kenny Golladay, Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, and Evan Ingram, and Lamar gets nothing.
And he gets Saquon Barkley.
Yeah. Ask yourself why the 2-time defending AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs, who have one of the worst run defenses in the NFL, went and signed 2 guards and are looking to sign a wide receiver instead of adding to their D-line. Ask yourself about that. And
they're talking to Melvin Ingram.
Yeah.
Right. So they're looking to add to the defense as well. How are they able to do all this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
How is Tampa Bay able to bring back every single player on that team? Right. And they had no money. How are they able to do this?
Yeah.
Because the cap is not real. Every time we talk about, we don't have enough money, that's not real. These teams can get around that whenever they choose to do so. And there is no effect on that team long term. They can always kick that can down the road whenever they're ready to do it. If they want to just stack up on contracts now and just keep pushing these contracts back and putting in these voidable years on contracts, they can keep doing that for Lamar's entire career. It will have no bearing on our ability to sign players. So yeah, that's just an excuse, man, and we all fall for it. But like I said, man, watch out for those gatekeepers and them telling you how it's actually a good thing that we didn't spend any money, and we should be happy we're getting Alshon Jeffrey or Golden Tate, right? And also for you guys that are saying, hey, we can go to the draft and get a wide receiver. There's 2 things about that. If we're trying to win a Super Bowl this year, relying on a rookie is not the answer. Not saying a rookie can't come in and help, but relying on a rookie is not the answer. You want to have good, at very least solid veteran experience, right? Mm-hmm. For when we get deep into the playoffs. A rookie, there's some things a rookie just can't do. He doesn't know how to do, no matter how good he is. Unless we're drafting the next Randy Moss, right? He's not going to be able to really hold up like that and deep into the playoffs. The second thing is we're just not going to get that guy. Okay. If you're talking about Rashad Bateman, we're not going to get Rashad Bateman. We don't trade up. Rashad Bateman's not going to fall to 27.
Yeah.
And once that happens, we're not going to take a wide receiver. We're going to go defense or something like that. We might get somebody in the second round, maybe, probably your third round. Mm-hmm. And that guy's not going to help us either.
With all that said, Baltimore still has the opportunity to bring in help at wide receiver, right? Yes. They still have Orlando Brown, who they're looking to trade. You can try to make a deal for Allen Robinson. You can try to make a deal for Mike Williams out of LA with the Chargers. And there's still Antonio Brown, who's running around as a free agent who you wouldn't even have to make a trade for.
Yep. I know.
Antonio Brown is still an elite level wide receiver. He showed it last year. Yes. And he was on his best behavior, and y'all just watched him go win a Super Bowl in Tampa. So I don't want to hear anything about him destroying the locker room or anything like that.
Yeah.
You watch what happened when he got signed.
Yeah. We're not talking about what you think the organization is going to do, right? What do you want them to do?
Yeah.
And if you don't want Antonio Brown, why? You don't like his attitude? Who cares? You don't know these people, man.
Yeah.
You don't know these people. He's eligible to play. He stayed out of trouble. He won a Super Bowl. He looked great with Tom Brady.
That's a lesson that fans never learn. You don't know these guys, and it doesn't matter what you think of them. Everybody loved Ray Rice. How'd that work out?
Yeah.
Everybody loves Deshaun Watson. Everybody thinks he's a great guy. What's going on with him right now?
Yeah.
And you can't say he didn't do it. You don't know. Right?
You don't know. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's still going on. But you're absolutely right. We don't know. We don't know these people. All right. And you just don't like some of the antics that they do off the field. And that means absolutely nothing what they do off the field. That has nothing to do with how they play on the field. If they're eligible to play, let them play. If they're not causing issues with the team, let them play. You know who caused issues for us last year? Earl Thomas. Punched Chuck Clark in the face. Missed meetings because he had to go wash his car. Right? And we had to cut him. And we're still paying for it. Okay. Antonio Brown would have came in at no cost. He went to the Bucs for no money, was on his best behavior. They're saying that he was mentoring Chris Godwin and some of the other younger wide receivers. And he helped them win a Super Bowl. And now he's available again. And we're talking about, nope, don't want him. He's a troublemaker. Like, the idea of player distraction out the window. Okay. These are grown men. And just because somebody's personality is a little different doesn't mean they're not going to be able to play together. Okay.
Right.
As long as he's showing up to the meetings, he's showing up to practice, and he's performing, that's all that really matters. All right. So, yeah, Antonio Brown is available. Yes, technically the draft, we could get somebody in the draft. At this point, I would say it would have to be luck.
Yeah. I mean, they're just not good at drafting wide receivers. So it would be luck whether they take one in the first round or the fifth.
Yeah. So trading Orlando Brown, and that's quieted down as well, too. You're not hearing a whole lot about that. So, who knows? I mean, it's the weekend right now. As we finish recording this might, some more news might drop, like the Kenny Golladay news, because this is the second time we recorded today. But yeah, man, it's early, but keep the pressure on the team, man. Don't give them excuses. Don't listen to these people trying to explain to you why we're not getting any better on offense. Don't let them do it. Hashtag defund the defense. Get used to hearing that. Hashtag defund the defense. Tell your friends.